Welcome to the Panic Button. I'm Nina.
I'm just a problem. I don't know why you have me here anymore.
Today we're reacting to a biological woman and a trans woman discussing, I don't know, I just saw it was trending on X. So,
Okay.
let's enjoy the ride together.
Okay.
I'm going to throw it over to Victoria now, and she'll just touch on a little bit more about that.
Hi, Jennifer. I really want to thank you for meeting with us today and taking the time to try to signal that this is more of a priority for you.
Absolutely. Delighted to meet with you all.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Drunk kind of sounds like they're slurring their words a little. Hi, Jim. It's nice to have you to meet me today.
I'm not sure what's going on yet.
Before I would ever say, though, that this was a productive meeting and be counted to the list of contacts that you've reached out to in the queer community, I have to know a few things of where you sit. Will you state on the record right now that trans women are women?
I've never been asked that before.
Will you say that on the record right now?
No, I want to have some time to think on that.
Okay, well, that's me. Have a great day. And I will be speaking out against this meeting because you are clearly not ready to have this. So I'm not going to be added to the list of meetings that you are going to have with people.
That's actually kind of wild.
Does it seem kind of like a skit?
It's like a trap. You could ask this question before you got on Zoom.
Okay, let's just assume this is real, although it kind of sounds weirdly like a skit.
You could have asked that before you got on Zoom. You didn't have to, waste everyone's time here. Also, saying that you're not ready to have a conversation with people because you disagree with what is now an opinion. That's wild. That's actually, mentally ill. Just because you have different opinions, you are not having a conversation. You're going to tell everyone that this person's a bigot and da-da-da-da-da over one question. You didn't even ask more than one question.
It's like sitting down at a meeting and saying, okay, before we begin this meeting, can you state that Jesus is our Savior and God is real?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
That's very...
And someone's like, and they didn't say, no, I won't say that. They said, let me think about that.
Okay, well, that's me. Very catty.
Well, I met this person and this person because no. You can't say I've had these consultations and use that as justification for you to work your way back into caucus, which is why we know you're really here. This only happens. This meeting is only happening because you're on Twitter, in the Twitter sphere, and people are debating whether or not you're going to be led back into caucus, and Premier Smith is debating that. And so you need to do some PR work. And I'm not going to be your Band-Aid. I'm not going to be your pink washing unless you can tell me right now that you believe that I, as a trans woman, right now, right here, am a woman. Then we don't have a lot to work on here. You want to talk about listening to the community?
You are, as a trans woman, are a woman. You've just cross-canceled out the fact that you're a woman by stating you're a trans woman first.
Which just proves our point into not saying that trans women are women, because you're not.
That's why that tickle versus giggle thing blew my mind, because the whole lawsuit didn't make any sense. If he's stating that he's being discriminated against based on the fact that he's a trans woman and he's not allowed in women's spaces,
that trans means more than they think it does.
then how can you be a biological man who's a trans woman and then be discriminated against your gender, but your gender yourself says, I am a woman, which means you're not a trans woman, so how can you be suing for discrimination if you're just a woman?
And they think
It doesn't make sense.
the word woman is the same as the word trans to them. It's an umbrella term for every variation of woman.
Well, then that means we're trans women as well.
No, it means that the opposite.
By their logic.
Yes, but opposite. They identify as trans women, therefore they are women. We are identifying as women, and also we're born as women, and therefore we fall under the woman umbrella in their head.
Right, which is also trans women.
Because
if you can say trans women are women, then you also have to say that women are trans women.
Yes, it makes the entire gender Venn diagram, instead of being a little touchy touch with what do you call it, ambiguous genitalia.
Yeah.
It makes that little tiny touch become almost a complete overlap of the circles, because there's no deviation between male and female anymore.
How so?
in their heads, because there's no, a woman is what identifies as a woman. There is no actual
Male or female?
exactly. Everything is, instead of having
Everything is a blob of nothing.
instead of having differences and vague very few similarities, we now have muddled
No
mess.
differences?
All
all
genitals are
similarities?
ambiguous, apparently.
But this is all psychosis because we all know what we're seeing. We all know what the science is. We all know what the proof is.
You
the
have to be
facts are.
crazy.
That's why it's a mental condition. But what's funny is the people that are crazy don't think you need a mental condition in order to be trans. If these autogynephiles, which this dude clearly is, he's not even trying with a voice. I mean, come on. This is just cross-dressing.
This is just a power play, actually, because that's someone
by
demanding
far, yeah.
power over women.
Let's talk about
That's
a man acting like a man here, because this is a man thing. Majority of women would not do this because a woman's personality will typically lead them to be more empathetic, so empathetic to a fault that it will risk their safety and their comfortability.
Comfort?
Yeah. Comfort, thank you.
Comfortability.
And comfort, yeah. They're called the two cutes, the self-IDers, the ones that believe if you say a woman, you are a woman. Those people are actually in psychosis because they think that they pass and that they're a beautiful, sexy woman, right? Which is obviously you have to be mentally ill. You've seen them. They don't pass at all. So by them being in psychosis, they are mentally ill. So even them saying that you don't have to be mentally ill to be trans.
Being trans is inherently mentally ill.
Right. But these people who are just self-IDing, these guys who are dressing as women and they don't pass at all, they believe you don't need to pass. You don't need to have gender dysphoria or, you don't have to have the mental disorder in order to be trans.
At any point, whatever point of transition you're at, medicalized, not medicalized, identifying, self-ID, bullshit, no matter what point you're at, you're mentally ill because you're a narcissist. You spend way too much time thinking about yourself and how other people look at you.
Yeah.
And how that is the problem.
Yeah.
So no matter what form of trans you are right now, there is something mentally off.
So they kind of cancel out their own argument.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, they cancel out their own argument.
Do you think there's something wrong with gay people mentally? Like there's something mentally wrong, like not clicking right?
No.
I would disagree.
Why?
Because biologically, we are wired to be attracted to the opposite gender. I would say biologically, we are not wired right. I don't think that we're all mentally ill, but I don't think that our biology's off.
You think our biology's off? Like we have too much testosterone?
I don't know exactly what it is, but something biologically is off because we're not attracted to the opposite gender.
But here's the weird thing. Trans men who get on testosterone end up finding attraction towards men.
I'm sure not
when
all of them.
naturally they're lesbian.
I've heard a bunch of stories, I know, but I doubt all of them.
Right, I'm not saying all of them.
But it also makes sense because they become horny teenage boys. So
right, but why doesn't it would seem as if lesbians have higher testosterone because they have more of a leaning towards masculine things, right?
That's not always true, though. I was just saying that, I'm not ashamed to say that there's something biologically different with my wiring when it comes to attraction than with the average or the normal human.
Okay.
And I'm not afraid or ashamed to admit that. I know I also have my own mental health issues outside of the, gay part, but I'm not ashamed of that, and I'm able to acknowledge that. That's something that people in the community are never going to acknowledge. People unlike Blair and Buck, they will say, I suffer from a mental disorder, gender dysphoria, that's why I do this. They will not sit there and say, you don't need this, you don't need that. Acknowledging the truth changes your life. It's crazy.
I remember living in that fog of denial or ignorance, and it wasn't fun. A lot of things were going bad and blaming other people didn't help. Didn't work. And it just made me miserable, and it put me in bad situations I never want to go back to. So, yeah, you're right.
If you can't start with that basic foundational principle that we are who we say we are in our bones, then I don't think we're on the same page for working forward.
You could say that you're not a murderer, but murder people. I can't trust what you say you are to be what you are. Because if you say, I'm a doctor, and then I let you perform surgery on me, and you're like, oh, well, I just identify as a doctor, and then I'm dead. It's important that we prove you are what you say you are. That's why doctors have certificates. That's why you have to get, like, your taxes. There's a million reasons you have to prove you are who you are and what you do.
Most of the time.
Otherwise, we're just all talking bullshit.
Yeah, and I wouldn't really trust anybody with a scalpel at that point.
And even in general, I could be like, hi, I'm your state governor. If I just
Would you like to donate?
I walk into like some shop and I'm like, oh, you're shut down because I'm the governor, and they just have to believe me because I'm the governor, and I'm walking around shutting down businesses just because I'm bored. Because I'm state senator.
That's why the self-ID thing doesn't work. The argument falls apart, which is why they go to ad hominems.
I'm going to make a whole TikTok that's about me self-identifying as the president. I'm going to call it Days of Presidency. And then eventually I'm going to be Dylan Mulvaney-ing this country.
But see, you also can't identify as a different race, even though
I will.
Race isn't really a binary, because people can be multiple races in one person.
I'll say I'm a Pacific Islander.
But you can't do that because it's racist. Yeah, you could. You could say that. You could self-identify. I mean, Elizabeth Warren, she identified as a Native American. She got like a scholarship or something like that.
I don't know what the fuck Kamala Harris is, but she's identified under every thing I can imagine.
Well, hey-oh, you never know.
We're on the same page for working forward. So I'll give you one last chance. Are trans women women? Will you say that on the record right now?
Victoria, we can disagree on things. And
not on that. Not on my identity. No. Not on that.
And I can still care about you, even if we disagree.
Wonderful. But I will be speaking out against this meeting 100% if you can't say that right now, because I'm not going to have you add my name to the list of meetings that you've had to show that you're, quote...
And this is what we call gaslighting children. Or, what is it? Manipulating, bribing. I'll do this for you, but you got to do this.
Say it's bordering on abusive.
Blackmailing. That's blackmail. I'm going to say that you're against my community if you don't say one sentence that I'm right. Tell me I'm right. I want to hear you say that you're right. That I'm right.
It reminds me of a parent that you don't like, who treated you like crap when you were younger, and would always, they tell you to do something, you'd be like, okay. It's like, what do you mean, okay?
Timmy, I'm telling you right now.
You didn't say it the way I wanted you to say it. It's like, it just reminds you of just a toxic relationship.
Timmy, apologize to mommy for you giving her this drinking problem. Say you're sorry that you made me buy a bottle of vodka. Say it right now, Timmy.
Right? Why are you trying to make someone say something that they don't believe?
Say it now, Timmy, or I'll get another bottle of vodka.
You've had to show that you're, quote, doing the work, because you're not doing the work. The work is the inner work. You're learning the outer work. You're learning what you're allowed to say in public and what you're not, so you don't get in this situation again, because you got caught saying what you really thought. And you did think that. But you haven't shown that you've changed. Because if you can't respect us, then how can I work with you? If you don't believe that I am a woman sitting right here, right now.
You can't even believe it. Did you hear yourself laugh at it? If you can't say I'm a woman, come on.
Why are you trying to control this woman's speech? This is a power trip. This is what men do, okay? The trans women that do the work, they don't act like men.
They also don't ask that question.
They treat women with respect.
They don't try to control and manipulate them to say and do things they want.
Yeah, you belong in the manosphere. You're like a red pill man with a wig. Mm-hmm. A bad one at that. Come on.
How on earth are you saying that you're working with me? What work have you done then if you can't start with, yes, Victoria, you are a woman?
Can we disagree and still respect each other?
No. Goodbye.
Old Man River. I mean, that guy's got a deep voice. See, that is that smile at the end. Do you see that? That's what the Christians call Satan. That's evil. That is it exceeds bitchy. it's worse than bitchy. It's malicious.
Yeah.
And these are the kind of people that women like us see a lot. We don't see a lot of very kind, sweet videos or anything positive when it comes to trans women unless they're speaking out against this kind of stuff. I don't know why. Is it the
Clickbait.
algorithm?
Clickbait.
Maybe, yeah.
Click on things that are more angry.
But yeah. What, am I missing something? Are there videos out there of nice trans women that aren't around children that are doing something nice for like the community and aren't speaking to children?
I wouldn't say that they're nice, but I don't mind Chris Crocker, who's now going under a different name.
Chris Crocker was pretty cool.
It still is pretty cool. They're on TikTok.
I haven't seen any of this stuff.
Cares a
he's
lot
done.
about his grandfather. His grandmother passed away, and he's been taking care of his grandfather ever since. Oh,
Well,
Kara
that's
Cunningham. That's what Chris Crocker goes. He's leave Britney alone. He seems like he was always a gay man.
Oh, and that video was a very feminine thing to do. That embodied a woman all day, what he was doing.
And it took
very emotional.
It obviously took a very long time for him to actually transition.
Right, but that was
makes,
smart.
It makes natural sense.
That was smart.
And he's obviously a Southern man, Southern gay man. And so, yeah, I'm sure it was hard for him then. And I'm just happy. And he
seems sweet.
He when Trump got shot the first time, he was like, I can't believe people are all mad and saying he should have died, da 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 da. I will say it here. I am praying for President Trump. And I was like,
Aw.
right, like you're such a sweet soul. And you can
Where
tell
are you people? Why are we getting
the estrogen has made him even like more sensitive. So yeah.
Gargamel? This evil person. Why are we getting people like this and
Narcissism.
Lily Tino and Dylan Mulvaney?
Narcissism. Like I just said.
Why are they so popular though? Is it because the algorithm pushed them, and why did the algorithm push them?
It's because they're popular and vain and narcissistic.
But why
And
did the
so they care
algorithm push
about-
them?
Because they care about pushing themselves out so much that they'll do anything for it.
That didn't really answer my question, but thank you.
The algorithm I can't necessarily explain.
I know. I don't know.
I don't do that.
There are people that millionaires pay lots of money to that can figure that out.
Money also helps.
Money helps everything. That's why you should like and subscribe to our channel and join our memberships for early access to our videos, uncensored content, and prioritize
comment?
commenting. You should comment.
Did you comment?
I don't know if they did.
You should comment.
You should.
Helps us out.
A lot.
It tricks that little algorithm.
It does.
That little bastard needs to be kicked in the fucking face.
Yeah.